Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails, a Grand Arena story, guys. We are in match number 5. We're in the semifinals, and I am on a mini vacation, seeing some friends that I grew up with. Actually, we're at an Airbnb thing, and it's been fun. We've been doing a lot of fun stuff, but that being said, I have to record on my phone and do all that stuff, so I'd even had to miss fight night and everything. Unfortunate, but we, uh, you know, uh, the show must go on. So, gonna record a voiceover for this fight. So gonna have to excuse the poor production quality. I'm not actually gonna even have my face on the actual recap. I'll just be recording it through voice, and hopefully that will work okay. If it sounds horrible, I'll try not to release it. We might just let it go, though. I don't know. That being said, yeah, this match, I was scouting my opponent. They placed a lot of teams that I didn't really think were going to be that good, but at the end of the day, it was a much trickier defense than I had thought, and I ended up with a few pretty sketchy counters, and you guys will have to stay tuned for that. Check it out, and then I'll show you the end and all of that and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. Enjoy the match. All right, folks. So here we are. I'll show you guys at least some of my defense at some point here. We have my opponent's squads, though, and we can't really pause for them, but there's no GLs. There's General Skywalker on the bottom, Darth Revan up top, and then a bunch of strong B-level teams. And this is a really tough defense in some ways because we need to be efficient on all these different teams if possible and not use our own Galactic Legends. So I have Kenobi available. I have Kenobi and Cat. I have Jedi Master Luke and Sith Eternal. Those are probably the most flexible Galactic Legends, and so we want to be able to clear this front zone without them, though, because if they have a Galactic Legend in back, we could be in a little bit of pain, I believe. So, anyways, you sit General Skywalker down. This counter is more stable now because General Skywalker just doesn't do as much damage to you, and there's all the characters that you would normally be afraid of him doing a ton of damage to are guarded. They can't even be crit, and so he eventually just stands up, and you just show him the floor once again. You say, "Oh, wasn't it fun that one time at band camp where you sat on the floor?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." So he does stand up with full protection here, even though he was sitting down with almost none. That's kind of a weird. I think that's probably part of the changes, but anyways, once he stands up, you just call an assist or do whatever, get the 56, and happily move along your way. Now, I could have used bounty hunters there, but I do feel like bounty hunters they carry a little bit more risk than Commander Luke at this point, and Commander Luke, if you have him available, is probably perfect for General Skywalker in general. So you wanna just use the more sure thing counters if you can. Now, I did have better speed mods than my opponent, so a lot of these matches, we're using full bounty hunters because I can use Boba here instead of Grief because his Queel isn't super fast. Now it's the same story over and over again, guys. We just use Aura Lead. We apply all the buffs to everyone. Get that taunt on Bossk so that he's on frenzy. Everyone mass assists with Grief, mass assist with Bossk, get this disintegrate, and really just call it good. So at this point, what I should be doing is focusing down Queel if I can. We're waiting for disintegrate against Nest, and so watch, I'm targeting Queel, and you can't crit Queel as long as IG is around, and so that was kind of a mistake with Mando because every time he does a crit, his cooldowns decrease. Now look at that. Nest actually one-shot Boba, my Relic 8 Boba, well-modded, 6 emods on him. She actually crit him and just took him out on his, or at least took him out of his first, his Bounty Hunter Resolve kicked in, of course, so he's not dead. And luckily, we killed Queel, so everyone's back in stealth. But that's kind of a hard-hitting Nest, and she's pretty tenacious as well. So we're not going to get a lot past her. Now, probably should have been shooting at Bo-Katan a little bit earlier, but it doesn't matter. Now, check out this fat finger, guys. Jeez. I'm not used to playing on a phone, at least GAC. I'm sure that's a good excuse, but I clicked on the IG that was almost dead instead of Nest for that big hit and for the disintegrate. So that was obviously my fault. Not intentional. Wanted to kill Nest. That's what I was waiting for. And not a good move. So anyways, I don't know if I explained the full Bando thing. What happened was, if you shoot Queel, you can't crit because IG-11 is still around there. So he was calling someone to assist. He tried to, do his own hit, and he didn't crit, and so it didn't really he didn't decrease his cooldowns that time. Now, that's one reason you do want to call mass assists against Nest, is so that he can assist and crit her to be able to get there. So, anyways, we're going to use Bad Batch here. I believe this is on the crew team, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so if there's no Hux here, even if there is a Hux, you can dispel everything, and then you can stun everyone. And then you do an AoE with Wrecker to get that second turn of stun on them. But more importantly, you get that true damage going on with the rest of the Bad Batch. AoE from Hunter. Echo calls Hunter to assist, and the whole team disintegrates because we're doing true damage, and we're doing extra damage to everyone every time we hit. So, yeah, pretty cool. 60 banners, and we can move on. We've got Jedi Training Rey here with no BB-8, because BB-8 is with General Grievous. General Grievous, guys. It's fun. It's a fun way to say it. It's not. Don't try it. Truly, I think it's one of the dumbest things ever. Anyways, yeah, I think what I decided was, I don't need my Jedi that much for the rest of the squads. And now, I didn't map everything out. And one thing I didn't realize, I put a ton on defense. And we're going to be pretty strapped for teams here pretty soon. Once you guys see what's in the back, there's not a huge amount of room for flexibility. And like Jedi, I don't know, this is overkill, certainly. But I mean, you can get a good score, especially there's no BB-8, so they're not that quick. You kill Hero Finn, and then you just take out targets of opportunity. One thing what I wanted to do actually was use my troopers against this team. I think that might have worked, except they have a Relic 7 L3 there, and she was really thick. She was well modded, and I didn't want to have to deal with her with troopers. I just wasn't sure if it would work. I thought it would, but my opponent just places a lot of cheese stuff, and then maybe not cheese, like they place B+ teams, and if I fail even once, it's going to really go poorly for me. So take that team out, and in the back you can see they have that Basti team with Jedi Master Luke and Watt. They have a Padme team with Bad Batch, and they had a really good MOTHMA team. And so at that point, I started mapping things out, and things weren't looking great, frankly, guys. There's just every single team he's placed is a real team, even though some of them are maybe a little bit subpar and not as awesome. They're still really good, and that Padme team especially, it's like, gosh, she got Bad Batch. Like, they can't do turn meter. It's not as effective, but it's still a pretty scary team. So after that, man, okay, we're gonna get into the Mothra gambit now. This is frightening, folks. We've got Mothra here, and okay, so we're trying Geos. In theory, I think this works pretty well. So as long as your Mothra's faster, you go and you can dispel the thing on Brute, and the theory is, you can just make it so that they never get a turn. You just keep loading turn meter with POW, kicking it back and forth between various members, get that frenzy from Biston, and as long as you're getting turn meter, everything's good. I mean, Everything's good. Now, I think I should have targeted the brute there, actually. Or, yeah, and tried to steal some turn meter from him. So, anyways, you can see Kara's almost dead. They focused on her for a little bit. They got a turn. Because the brute got a turn, and then because everyone could assist, they gained turn meter, and it turned into a near fiasco. But, I mean, Kara eventually recovered a bit. And now I'm just trying to hit the guys with... Well, I mean, now I'm just trying to kill a brute alpha, but the thing is, you want to hit the guy with the lowest armor so that you're doing a ton of damage to the communal group. Like, all the Geos share that health pool, and so you may as well hit the guy without much armor, which is not the brute alpha. Hit like soldier or spy if you have them available. Obviously, I didn't have spy available till the end, but 59, and we'll have to play around with that counter a little bit. I felt pretty sketchy, but I didn't really have anything else to beat Geos with super consistently. So when we're gonna go into the next one, and it's also pretty sketchy, guys. We've got Bando here, and it's a correctly sequenced Bando. It's not as quick as I would probably prefer, but this you know, this will do in a pinch. So we got Bando, IG, Dengar, Queel, Nest. I was staring at it for a little bit, just trying to verify, okay, do I have everything? You want AoEs that do debuffs to opponents, and you want them all to go. You want Queel to go, give everyone on the team plus 25% turn meter. So Bando then goes next. IG goes after that, gives all the debuffs. Nest can give all the dazes out. Dengar can hand out, he can distribute some thermals, and you'll note that they're taking turns now, and this is a version of the turn meter squad. It's not an optimized version, I don't believe. You guys can see it better than me, actually. I'm staring at a very small screen here. But anyways, they choose for a long time to just focus on IG, which is pretty lucky. This is pretty sketchy. And then they decide to shoot Nest, and here's the built-in parameter though, guys. So they're doing all the damage to Nest, all the damage to everyone, and they've stolen turn meter from Bando, and it looks pretty gross. Like, maybe I'll never get a turn. But what you need to realize is, once one of my guys gets down to 60% health, which granted that's a little scary, but with Bando, that's the magic number. He gets a bonus turn immediately, and so as long as he's fast enough to get into that poop stance to get the birds, then he's going to get that turn almost guaranteed against a MOTHMA team, because they do such little damage. All of their hits are going to incrementally get you to 60%. They're not going to go from 60% to 0 instantly, or 61% to 0. So, anyways, we targeted Pow because he was the softest one, and he's also the one who's most effective in that squad of getting turn meter. And once he is gone, you can see they're not taking nearly as many turns. And they can't revive him because it's whistling birds. So, I don't know. Bando's pretty cool. And, you know, even if they have a taunt, Bando ignores that taunt because he's band ass. Gosh, he's pretty cool, though. So, anyways, take out Kara, and now she, I believe, is revivable. But, unfortunately for them, the Whistling Birds actually took all 3 of them at the end. No survivors. Okay, and pretty soon here, guys. Okay, so what I've decided was we're going to need to take out that Basti Jedi Master Luke team with Watt. We're going to need to use Supreme Leader Kylo. I mean, I think Kenobi would probably work, but we're going to have to be creative with Kenobi as well. So here, we're going to really look at the kit here. Now, look at, and we have to go fast. So look at whenever a deceived or linked enemy uses an ability, Sith Eternal Emperor gains 10% mastery until the end of the encounter, and the other Sith allies, it doesn't matter what the other Sith allies do, but, so, here's the thing, guys, if you just go immediately into your ultimate, then you kind of screw yourself a little bit, because you can kill all the ads, but you can't actually, you want to ramp up your mastery for a long time if you can. And you're going to be in a more survivable, awesome state once you get to, or once you're in your backpack phase, if you stay in your backpack phase. So anyways, you've got the basic on, just hit auto basic, and now we're going at super speed because Watt is dead. We've linked Jedi Master Luke and Jedi Knight Luke so that they can't crit, and that's enough. So you can just hang out here, take hits, and you're just gaining mastery all the time. Every time they're hitting you, they have deceived, and they're hitting you, and you have to wait. You have to be patient and watch, but you have to wait until the 1 minute and 15 second mark. And remember, all this whole time, every time something's happening, like we meet those criteria, 10% mastery, and that's all damage. So if you guys do just like decide to slow it down, you can see the amount on Sith Eternal's basic against Jedi Master Luke, who is being forced to taunt right now because of what? Every time he's doing a basic, he is doing more and more. So we're nearing the time that we're going to slow it down again. And he's got all this bonus protection, right? And so we need a little bit of time to make sure we can shoot through it if possible. And the other piece of it, guys, is you want everyone to be hitting him because you want him to be gaining all of that mastery there. You don't want to pop your ult right away because you don't want to be killing anyone. You want them to all just be hammering at you. So eventually we get through that bonus protection and get that 60 because we have Watt there to keep him alive, and Watt is very important. That you don't want to use Armorer, just to be clear, because Armorer does not actually protect him from debuffs, which he needs that protection against Jedi Master Luke and Basti, because he'll be ability locked forever. Okay, so we got through that, and we have 2 more GLs left, and really, of all the teams I had remaining, like I didn't really have a good team to use Bo-Katan with, and therefore we've got. I was trying to figure out what team I wanted to use on what. Maybe my Bo-Katan would have worked on this, actually. Probably, just because it's such a bad collection of bounty hunters. It's like, I don't know. They could do better, I think. No shade on my opponent, but I think it could be better. So, my troopers actually didn't have a great target either. Ironically, like I could try taking out their Sith Empire team, but I had a solution to that. I thought, man, okay, I think we're gonna have to get a little tricksy here. But what I decided was I'm just gonna split up my Padme. So I have Padme and I have Jedi Master Kenobi. So we're going to split up Padme and the Kenobi team in the sense that we're gonna take Kenobi, or we're gonna take Cat with Padme. And so I needed to make sure that this is the tricky part, because Padme shares a lot of characters with Kenobi, who shares a lot of characters with Jedi Master Luke, and those are the only teams I have remaining. And so I had to look for a little bit, like who goes with who does Jedi Master who does Yoda go with? Grandmaster Yoda, who knows? Who does Cam go with? Who does Cat go with? And so Cat does a lot of interesting things for this team, though, because Padme gives everyone all the bonus health. And if you mod everyone here correctly, everyone has a ton of health. But then Cat gives them 50% more on top of that, not to mention more offense and all that stuff. So anyways, we're just going to hang out, take our pounding for a little bit. And, I mean, there's no way you can avoid a 55. 55 is about what you get. Well, I guess there is a way. Shock T could heal you, potentially, to heal one of your characters, if you time it right and get everything right, but typically that's not going to happen. So what you really need to look out for, though, you don't want B2 to be getting rid of all your bonus protection, because that's where not only your survivability goes, but that's also where your damage comes from. And so we took out B2, and that is usually the win condition for Padme. If you can do that, then you can beat the Grievous team. And so what I decided to do, though, was kick him, because I had a bunch of extra courage, And so we called the mass assist and just finished off Grievous right away. Grievous is such a healthy guy. All that courage does a ton of damage because it's damage per stack. And so anyways, if you look at all of our protection, there's not a single character that's really in range for Shaak Ti to be able to heal in time. So we're just, I don't know, I gave her, I had her give stealth to Anakin, I guess. Speed up. Maybe she should have done that to herself so that she could take more turns, so she could heal someone. But end of the day, we get our 55 and we can move on. Not my very favorite thing, because we've been getting really good scores actually so far. But we have Darth Revan left, and we have something awesome, I'm sure. But so we're gonna use Kenobi without Cat here. Oh yeah, we have the Padme team with Bad Batch in the bottom zone. But I needed to see if that Padme team would work. I was pretty sure. The plan was just to get Cat an instant kill, because the way my opponent had done things, there was no taunts on that Grievous team like they had BB-8 and and Newt, which kind of messed with me. Now, we're going to use Kenobi here, and Cam. We even have Mace Windu making a dramatic appearance. We've got, what is that, Barriss, I believe. Don't embarrass me, please. But we don't have Cat here, so we can give Mace the damage immunity it's damage immunity right away, which is nice. And he's no GK, right? I need to mod him a little bit better though if I'm going to use him. So one thing that I'm trying to do here, remember, Kenobi can target outside of taunt, and so we want to take out their Dark Basti as quickly as we can. And eventually I was just able to dispel Malak and Sith Empire Trooper well enough. And now, if you're going to do something that people could potentially assist on, don't target Darth Revan there, because you can't call an assist on Darth Revan. He's unassistable 2 or something. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, I kept Mace here so that he would take the hits. Like, if they feared Mace, that would be fine, because the only 2 who would be feared was Mace, and who cares about him, and General Kenobi. And without Cat, you feel more vulnerable, I guess, here. So one thing that I will note, I figured he'd put his Executor on defense, and he did not, which surprised the heck out of me. That I still haven't had a match where I had to take out a 7-star Executor with my own. We're gonna have to play it. You play that game of chicken of putting it on defense or not. He does have a maxed out Executor though. So anyways, we've got Padme with Bad Batch, and keep in mind they can't gain turn meter, guys. So they're gaining all this cool stuff from Padme. I got a little bit unlucky. Like, we only got 2 ability blocks there, and my Jedi Master Luke has crazy high tenacity. So a little bit of bad RNG, but it happens, and we're just gonna move on. I did take Qui-Gon because he can dispel, and that's what he just did. So yay. And if he dispels, I think he gives offense up to everyone, so you get a little extra damage, which is it's not something I'm gonna throw away. But keep in mind, every time we call someone to an assist, they're going to be gaining bonus turn meter for just a minute, and then maybe we knock it off. But what usually happens is we can't do enough damage through that format to actually have it worthwhile. But all we're trying to do at this point is build the Jedi Master Luke, whatever it's called, Ultimate. Sorry, it's been a long day today, folks. But we want to build his Ultimate, and so that's what we're doing. Calling Grandmaster Yoda to assist because he gains so much turn meter from it that he gets a lot of bonus turns, and he can call other people to assist and stuff. But anyways, we took out someone, and I think it was Echo or something. Eventually took out Padme, And then once Padme goes down, it's just kind of a turkey shoot. And yeah, not the greatest Jedi, but we took out a somewhat menacing team for 60 banners. So really pretty efficient. We got a 56 with Commander Luke. We got a 55 with Padme. And the rest has been pretty good. So they've got their negotiator team down. They've got Chimaera, and this is a little nerve-wracking, guys. So what I decided, and this, I don't know if I recommend this, but you can take Malevolence in and have an okay chance. Like, I won't say it's an amazing chance. Of course, my opponent has all the pilots maxed and everything, so that doesn't help. But this build is really pretty difficult for Malevolence to beat if the Galactic Republic is equally modded and stuff, or with the 6E mods and the gear levels. That's what I was going for, equal gear levels and all of that. So we lost our Vulture droid before I could even take a turn, and now we've got Clone Sergeant in. We've got the Y-Wing. Decided to stun the Y-Wing and try to get back to our business of putting buzz droids on everyone, killing ships, as quick as we can. Hopefully we can take out that Anakin ship. I think I fat fingered something on Anakin too, but they do with Rex, they get their ultimate super quick. So, here's hoping that we get a mark on Anakin. And of course we didn't, but we could take out that Clone Sergeant, I guess. And then Hyena can ignore taunt, thank goodness. So we killed Edda, finally, and we can move right along. Now we can't hit anyone else. Ironically, Y-Wing is dispelled of her buff, its buff, but we can't target anyone else because we assigned a buff from Spy on, we assigned the taunt on Spy. Now, Hyena dying there is really scary because all we have left is Spy and now Soldier. So, we have that Vulture droid who is dead now, so we can take hits, but the win condition is shifted. If they kill my Spy and Soldier, then we're just screwed. So we're going to take as many of them with us as we possibly can. Did get the ultimate there, thank goodness. And now we can hopefully just take them out. But you can see Soldier's gone because of counters from 5s, and gosh, it's just scary. So I did a basic there. I think that's the right move, but I'm not entirely sure that it is, actually. Probably should. I don't know. It's just tricky. I mean, a stun there would be good, but we could also potentially get someone else summoned. So 54 banners. Just abysmal banners. 54 is atrocious. We dropped 12 banners. That's more than all of my other fights combined. But, I mean, I did put Executor on defense, so he's got that coin flip to get. And then now we're going to use Rebels here against the Empire fleet, which is always a little nerve-wracking. But as long as they don't have Gauntlet in there to combine with TIE Fighter Pilot to just nuke you immediately, this fleet is pretty high. I don't know, high success rate. So you want to hit you'll want to hit Vader right away because he's the low-hanging fruit. And I don't know how many people have actually called Darth Vader fruit and gotten away with it. I may be a dead man walking. So you save your wiggle on Millennium Falcon until that bomber is gone. Because the second you hit that Vader, then the Sith bomber is going to taunt, and that is not what you want, because then when you hit it, it's going to give you grenades to get dazed, and it can be a huge mess. But if the bomber does get a turn, they'll set everyone on fire, and the Millennium Falcon can then do his wiggle, gain all that bonus turn meter, take another turn, and be done with fire so that at least he can assist. Now we get a 67 here, which, that's a little bit exceeding what even I was hoping for, but got a decent full clear. 2836, dropped I don't know, dropped 22 total banners, 12 of which are in fleet. So my opponent attacked, and they weren't efficient. They got 60 on the Night Sisters, and then they got a 47 and a 52 and a 56. So that almost just like seals them out from being able to clear me. They cleared 2 squads up top, 2 on the bottom, and frankly, I'm convinced. I think they're gonna just be done attacking. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they just sometimes decide they don't care about attacking anymore, and I don't know. I think that my efficiency eventually, I mean, that it's come into play here. So, oh, here we go. We've got a 56, 53, and a 46. Not great scores. And so we're going to leave it here, folks. Here is the final map as I see it. I mean, I think they're priced out. They dropped 20, they've dropped 24 so far. I dropped 22. So they'd have to get 60s on everything moving forward and a couple 61s. And the 66 on both ships. Yeah, I don't really see it. So we're going to leave it here. In the comments, I will leave the final score if it changes. But just assume that we get the win. We get into the finals. And I will be streaming that live. We'll have all the good equipment and everything. So that'll be fun. In the meantime, guys, if you like this video, even if it was a little bit rough, please, I would hugely appreciate a like, or, you know, if you haven't subbed yet or whatever, would really appreciate that. Hopefully the sound quality isn't just atrocious. Let me know what you think of this format. And yeah, if you don't want to see my face, you know, respectfully tell me that. I probably will keep it, but I would be interested to hear what you guys think, what you like to see in these videos. So that being said, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.